pattern, and the Crocodile sent Misfits to the Tomb of the Emperors. They took his Kiana, while he took their lives.
Level 3, level 4, when Sejuani makes her way back towards the top side of the map, that's where Misfits will look to try and punish this player.
Oh, Caps! No Ignite, doesn't need it! Calls the Meek in an instant!
TBing?
Yeah, you tanking in tier is good.
Yeah. I have E2.
Yeah, it's no flash.
Yeah, I'll tank.
I'll rank him.
Yeah.
Do you want to stay? Like, do you want to?
I think that's space.
Alright.
He's playing aggro mid, so I think Giant's around. I will respect.
I think I'm dead. I'm dead. He's just too strong, I think.
So he's winning the mini game, but not the real game. Soaz now in trouble. No flash this time around. We'll get a lot of immediate healing, but no movement speed. Already is just going to get walked down here. Caps will grab yet another kill.
So I think what I worked out from that highlight package is Caps has a very different definition of I respect the fact the enemy jungler might be near than I do. Because in that third clip, he's like, oh, I think the jungler might be near. He's playing aggressively. I'll respect him. And then he just jumps in onto leader.
He's like, I'm going to cautiously go for this 1v2. You know, I'm Caps. I do Caps things.
Exactly. You can do it from every now and again. But in our match of the week yesterday, Splice's Kobe got the ball rolling with a nice Tristana outplay. Oh, Kobe's going to jump in here, but Dreams spits Crown Shot out straight away. Glacial Fisher comes out as well as they look for the chase. Thick skin from Dreams will keep him alive for the moment, but he's solo. Kobe jumping in! Buster Shot takes him out. Kobe tanks up the tower. Crown Shot could look to go forward, but can't face into two.
We don't have to.
Okay, we are rolling in Tam. They have TP and I have TP in 5.
That's fine.
Okay, we have really good damage on Tam.
I have heal.
Lee is fighting into boss side. Can you guys be careful?
I have heal.
It's very volatile there.
Nice, good. I have heal.
Probably not. I will actually puff bot lane, okay? You must be okay. I'm coming bot lane, bot lane. We have Karma has TP, Karma has TP. We both have TP, I'm coming. I might kill them when I come, okay? Just wait for me. I'm just running top. I was thinking to TP, but this guy would just TP anyway, so... Okay, Tisana is looking to base.
Yeah, Tristana's probably looking to base after killing your support. Yeah. Tends to be what happens. Oh, I've got all this extra gold. I wonder what I should do with it.
I mean, that was just clean from Kabe. He's actually walking backwards, so Dream's like, all right, I'm getting out of here, no problem. Jump forward into the ultimate.
It's the perfect timing on the thick skin going down as well, which is really pretty to watch. Finally, Prophet's teleport plays led Rogue to a massive upset victory today against Origin, reminding everyone that once he did play for SKT. Origin going to use it, Rogue maybe just deciding they want to get the TP out. How bold are you going to be? Look at the call at the moment, it's so split, they're on both sides. Prophet teleporting in behind here. Rogue have the flank, I talked about it, and Prophet is there! Rogue collapse, and Origin can do nothing about it.
Kennen it's tipping, Kennen it's tipping.
Okay, go
let's go.
Walk up.
Go Shivira.
Yeah, go
Shivira.
Okay.
Careful Victor, guys, careful Victor.
Hey, care, slow.
Go Victor.
Okay, slow, guys, slow. Yeah. Calm down,
Hey, hit Nash.
To clear out the wave as Cannon Minim pushing in. Oh, Prophet's got the teleport behind them, they're looking for the same play. Hammer comes out, hits Mithy, immediately QSS's it away, but here goes Prophet! Oh my god! That is disgusting! Origin do not get a chance to play League of Legends. Rogue rout them, the Abyssal Voyage coming in behind Alfari here as well, as Vander forces him back into his team, straight into the waiting arms of Larson. Rogue destroy Origin in a perfect play.
Victor is really splitted. I flash on Victor.
No Mikkels.
Hey, we go Victor.
No flash.
Yeah, holy. Okay, go
Nash. Can't we catch him?
I catch him.
No flash, no W. No flash, no W.
I will get him. End with top wave, guys. Yeah, maybe you can end. End.
Go top. Okay, nice.
Don't hit 8 of clear it. Don't hit 8 of clear. We just kill him.
Medic, all I'm saying is that Prophet's Kennen made me want to be a Kennen 1 trick again. Those flanks are actually just so insane.
The only problem is Prophet's good. But for more insight on the action, here's Dracos with the LEC post-game lobby.
Welcome to the LEC post-game lobby after week 4. I'm Dracos, joined by Splices, Visit, Chachi, and Kabi. Guys, I'm so happy. We advise you win or lose. I'm so happy that it's on a win. It was so cool to see you guys bust out a lot of things. And now you've done 2 things that G2 haven't done. 1 is beat Fnatic, and 2 is play Kiana. Talk to me a little bit about that win.
Yeah, well, basically, our mid laner said that Kiana is going to be good here, so we just trusted him and picked it. Even though I myself am not so familiar with the champion, it just deals a lot of damage, and then you trust your mid laner and he will carry the game.
It was a good look overall, but really it felt like such a team game. You guys were dominating from the start. How did that game go from your perspective, Kabi?
I think it went pretty smooth in the early game, but at some point I dropped focus at least, and we made some dumb mistakes, and I felt like it should have been a bit cleaner, like faster, if we just snowballed it properly. But I mean, Marek, Humanoid, he was playing really well, and I think we played a fine game. But yeah, it was a chill game.
I mean, it's cool. I mean, so the thing is when you tell me it's a chill game after playing one of the top teams, if not the top team in the league at the moment in Fnatic, that surprised me. At what point did you know you were winning the game and that this was going to be easy? Were you guys confident in draft? Was it after the first few kills in the early game? At what point were you really confident that you were just going to walk away with a win?
I mean, I just mean chilling, like from my point of view. Like I didn't have to do that much. I just saw Mr. Humanoid here one-shotting some people, and then I'm like, okay, this champion looks pretty good, so I'm sure he's gonna carry.
Yeah, I also see my bot lane duo killing some enemy duo, so I already knew that we are in the driving seat there.
All right, so everyone but Humanoid, it sounds like, got to play a pretty relaxed game, maybe Xerxes as well. Now, for you guys as a whole, looking at Kiana as a champion, now, Vizitachi, you already admitted you don't know a whole ton about this champion. It just does a lot of damage. Kavi, do you have any more experience with Kiana? Like, what should people be thinking about this champion? Should it just be permaban forever?
The thing is, I don't really know. It's not really my role. So yesterday I sat in practice tool to just figure out what it does. Because I don't want this thing to happen to me. But might happen regardless. But in terms of priority and stuff, I can't really say too much. But I think my mid lane has a good idea about the champ, and I don't really. I trust him on it. So.
He definitely did, and Twitter, of course, had a good idea about who should be key player of the game. It was Humanoid with 84% of the votes, so it seems like you guys agreed with it. The public agreed with it as well. And overall, obviously a fantastic performance for you guys. You guys moved into a pretty easy top 3 in the conversation after beating OG, and today it feels like you guys just continue to rise. You've taken down Fnatic. You're now playing G2 next week. How high is the ceiling for Splice?
I mean, it's difficult to say. G2 is the best team in Europe right now, and they are the ones to take down if we want to claim this spot. But it's a very difficult task, and well, we will see next week if we are up to it. But we will definitely come in with some good preparations.
Very humble, very reserved. I like that. Not trying to set too many crazy expectations at this point. But I am curious. Top-down rankings. I'm safely putting you guys in the top 3. Are you number 3? Are you number 2? Right now, you're putting G2 at number 1. Where do you see yourself? If it were coming down to best of 5s, where would you finish the split?
I mean, that's pretty hard to say as of now. I think we've improved a lot, and if we just keep this pace, I'm sure we will definitely stay in the top 3 or whatever towards the end. But I think, yeah, as you said, G2, Fnatic are extremely good teams. I think Origin is good too, but now we have beaten both Origin and Fnatic, so yeah, I guess you can say we're top 3, maybe 2.
Top 2?
Not yet.
Top 2.
Not yet. But the thing that you mentioned is improvement, and I think it's pretty easy to see your team improving as a whole. I mean, you're taking down OG, you're taking down Fnatic. You guys did have the 3-1, admittedly, in last playoffs. But from your perspective, Kabi, what's been like the biggest change for your team as a whole to improve this much, to be able to take confident games off of OG and Fnatic this season?
I think it's 2 things. It's like first experience. When we played in the spring quarterfinals or semifinals against Fnatic, I feel like we didn't have enough experience, a bit as individuals, but mainly as a team together. And that just comes with time and like more and more practice together. And I feel like right now we have a really good idea on how to play the game, and both Noskeren and Humanoid, they like continue to grow so much. So I think that's what we got going for us.
Yeah, Vizitachi, I mean, you're a veteran in this team as well. How much growth have you seen from people like Noskeren and Humanoid? Are they speaking more in the team comms? Are they just playing better as individuals? What do you think has changed for them specifically?
I mean, I think Kobe touched on the main point here, which is basically knowing your own style and trying to perfect it. And we basically have a very clear idea on how to play the game right now. And everyone is trying to accept their roles more and more. And that's where we see the improvement, because mistakes come out repeatedly during scrims and practice, and then these mistakes we just keep putting out there, and the players can learn from it. And I think Humanoid and Noskeren are improving very steadily, and who knows where the ceiling is for them.
Hard to be critical of Humanoid after a performance like that today, or Norskaren for a matter of fact, hitting all of those hooks across the game. Obviously an incredible win. To kind of wrap up the discussion on you guys and where you stand right now as a team for Splice, I'm curious. We look at G2, it's the crazy flex pick. I talked to Whippo, he described Fnatic as a bomb. Sometimes it blows up in their hands, sometimes it blows up on the opponents. If you had to describe the style that you're talking about, the one that you feel like you guys have identified, how would you describe it? How would you describe the Splice style of League of Legends?
Yeah, I think I'm actually not sure how I would say myself. This week we did have 2 40-minute games, but I think we just... Actually, do you have an idea? Because I'm not really sure what I would say. I feel
Doesn't always fit into a buzzwordy sentence like crazy flex picks or bomb.
I feel like we can do more things, that's the thing. Like, I don't think we just have one page on how to play the game, so I'm not sure what I would call it.
Well, whatever page you pulled out today against Fnatic looked damn good. It will not put you ahead of them in the standings. They are still first, however, but followed by G2 and now you guys as well. And it's actually a very close race in the top 3 when we do get a chance to look at the standings. But as exciting as the top of the table is, I feel like you guys it's feeling pretty easy to say that Splice are playoff bound. The rest of the teams, however, are very much a different discussion because once we get past the top 3, you guys being up there now very clearly, it's kind of a mess. So I'm curious what your takes are on some of these teams. Specifically, I want to call out a team like Rogue, who took down OG today. 3-5. It looked very good. Obviously, a lot of fantastic highlight cannon ultimates. You're no stranger to those, Chachi. So what is your take on this Rogue lineup?
I mean, we practiced a few games with Rogue, and I have to say that they have quite a steady lineup, and I think individually they are quite solid. And what they are improving right now on is their team coordination and team communication. And I think that's why we see them rise, because these players have actually played together a lot during spring in the academy team. And they have some inbuilt synergy, which they carried on towards the summer split. And they have this hunger to win as well. So I think that's what's driving Rogue forward right now. And yeah, they're doing some good plays.
Absolutely are. Is this a team that you think you can expect to see in playoffs, or is it too early to tell?
I think they will be a contender, most likely.
Good to see. Now, of course, these moments, fantastic from Rogue as a whole, and good for them to celebrate that upset against OG, good for them to find wins. But a team, of course, who found their first win today is Excel up against SK. Kabe, I want your takes both kind of on Excel and on that game in general. What do you think of Excel? I mean, that game looked pretty good to me. How much of that is Excel versus, you know, SK maybe making some mistakes?
I actually didn't get to watch too much of the game, but as of Excel, I feel like they have many games where they're either in the lead or it looks like they could win this, and then in the end they just fall flat and lose. But I'm not really sure what to like
with the backdoor. I see.
Backdoor looks like.
So what you missed was, in classic fashion, commanding early game, and then unlike the other games, the OG and the Fnatic game, they actually closed it out quite well. This Baron setup was pretty flawless. Mickey was pushing on the bottom side the entire time, and those final moments were SK really hard forcing, trying to find a play. So XL first win. Are they going to continue to rise would be my question for you, Kabe, without, of course, perfect information on the game that they played today.
I mean, I can definitely see them picking up more wins. I don't think they're a playoffs team, but I can see them taking wins off, I mean, they did off SK. Maybe teams like Misfits, Rogue, maybe Vitality. But I don't really see them. I mean, the thing is, they actually do put up good fights against top teams sometimes, but they just don't close out the game. So that's why I'm hesitating on saying it. But yeah, I think they can take some wins. I don't think they'll go to playoffs. So.
Now, for both of you, I do want to get kind of your dark horse, as we are almost halfway through the split. Is there any team that you think is clearly going to make it to playoffs that people might not expect? Chachi, we'll start with you.
I mean, clearly is a bit hard to say, but I think for me it would be definitely Rogue as like the dark horse, because most people undervalued them at the beginning of the split, but they are starting to show better and better play. So I think they would be my candidates.
Don't worry, I'm not going to like come back and be like, Chachi, how dare you say that if they don't make playoffs? It's okay, it's happening in the split. We got 5 more weeks to find out. Kabe, how about for you? Do you agree? Do you think Rogue is the big standout to you, or is there someone else that you have your eye on?
Maybe Splice can be a good dark horse. But yeah, I mean, at this time we're usually low on the standings, so I would say Vitality with they actually look pretty solid today, and I feel like if they just start actually playing properly, they have some kind of good qualities, and they have been towards the top before, so I can definitely see them going up there. I don't believe too much in SK or Misfits, so Vitality would be mine.
Yeah, I think fair after the struggles that Misfits have had most recently. We'll see what they can do in the weeks to come, and the same is definitely true for SK. But of course, in the Kia Player of the Game leaderboard, Broxa is leading ahead of Perks and none other than Vizichachi. Now, it is important to note that in the event of ties, the player that has received the highest percentage of votes will come out on top. Now, Chachi's getting it, Humanoid getting it, and this is where I think you guys are struggling as a team, and I'd like to give you some advice. One player needs to carry every time, Chachi. You have to just play Kennen every game at all. Kennen or Poppy, because right now you technically have 5 votes right there. I mean, Perks and Caps also have 5 votes, so I feel like you're being cut short a little bit by the fact that you're mixing up who carries the game.
Yeah, I think it's Kennen and Poppy every game from now on, and then if it's not, then we blame the draft.
I think absolutely fair. We look at it, of course, also, the more your team wins, the more chances you get. A loser cannot win Kia Player of the Game. So not surprising to see all 3 of our top teams represented here. But while you guys were playing, and I believe in our 4th game of the day as well, we kind of reached out, we asked on Twitter. We're approaching the 2nd round robin, and with that, I did want to look at some MVP candidates. Now, people, unsurprisingly, have already gravitated towards Caps as a back-to-back MVP. We had a lot of immediate tweets coming out in that regard. What is your opinion on Caps right now? I think a lot of people are keen to call him the best player in the West. Would you agree?
Probably. I think he's probably the best player on his team, so I guess he can get the MVP again. There's yeah, I don't have too much bad things to say. I'm trying to look for something, but it's really hard.
And I think that is a testament to his ability, right? If you had to give Perks a weakness, and I swear that this will not be clipped out and used against you on Reddit, if you had to say, like, if there's any one thing that Caps doesn't do perfectly, what would it be?
For Caps or Perks?
Yeah, for Caps. Sorry, I'm getting my GG players mixed up.
I mean, maybe it takes a bit too much risk sometimes. It usually works out because he's just that good. But yeah, has really all-in playstyle, and I think I mean, you've seen in the past, if you decide to just hard camp him and punish him for every single time, that could be a weakness. So yeah, maybe a bit too much risks.
All right, thank you for saying that. Do not clip that out, you monsters in Twitch chat, and use that against him. I asked him, he had to find a weakness. The other one, the people were very eager to point out, and a lot of Fnatic fans coming in, and a lot of people who I think have legitimate reasons to say so. Broxa was another candidate that was brought up. Now, they did, I believe, say most of this before they watched your game, before you guys win. There might be a few more names in the running. But Broxa is another player that I would love to get your thoughts on. Vizichachi, what have you thought of his performance so far this split?
I mean, he's kind of like the engine of Fnatic, I think. Basically, the laners are quite strong on themselves, but they need some resources, and Broxa is always there to back them up when they need. And I think that's why we see him rise a lot, because when he's there, he will get the kills, and then he will get fed, and he can do more on the map. So I think he's doing very well, and he has a deep champion pool as well. So it's definitely deserved that he's up there.
Yeah, it's a good look overall. Now, we could look to poll results, but rather than hear what the public has to say about who they perceive the Splice MVP to be, I would be curious if you guys, you can even vote for yourselves if you want. I will, no bias, I won't hold it against you. Who do you think is the most valuable player, or has been the most valuable player? Because the thing that we don't get to see is scrims. People on the outside don't get to hear team comms. Is there one player that you feel like goes above and beyond to help the team win?
I think that's really hard to say. Not just because it's on camera, but even if we would sit 5 players together, I'm actually not sure.
Yeah, same.
Because, I mean, we see it from the inside as well, and we know like how much each individual brings. I would say lately, like, you could say with Humanoid, he has many highs, some downs, and it's like where I'm more like this, you know? Yeah. Sometimes he goes really high, really low, but lately it feels like even his bottom level has been raised that much. But I feel like when he has a really good game, he's like clearly a standout player. But I can't pick out one. It's too hard. Chachi Poppy.
Chachi Poppy.
Ocean.
There's 2 MVPs on your team. There's Humanoid at peak Humanoid, and there's Vizichachi on Poppy, and I think Kennen was the other one that we could bring up. Now, Akabi, I'm curious why. So you say you're very steady, but you don't put yourself on that list for players. I feel like you've been having a pretty solid split, obviously. I mean, it's floating in 3rd place right now. Where do you see yourself among the other 80 carries in the league?
Oof, I really don't like rankings. I think
you can just say like I'm one of the best. I won't hold you to like a number 3 or putting yourself on a tier list.
I think I'm the best until there's another all-pro 80 carry. And maybe you can say that it's Umayan after Rift Rivals. That's all I can say.
All right, keeping it humble. Well, regardless, I at least appreciate the posts. Some more dramatic action this year for you and the boys and the team. And I think that it has been just an incredible split once again for Splice so far. And I'm still just in awe at how much has changed for you guys, the split, and how kind of it's all come together as a whole, as a squad. Is there anyone else that you think isn't getting enough praise, isn't being the heroes? No longer on Splice, I won't make you pick a favorite out of your team, but is there anyone else that you think needs to be in the mid-split MVP conversation?
I think it's really hard to look at already. I haven't even thought about it.
It's just for mid-split, like the first half of the split. So it's not like they're going to win MVP in the overall split, just for the first 4 or 5 weeks.
I think maybe Xerxes is getting a bit underrated by like the public because he doesn't have these super flashy plays or anything. But as Broxa is the engine behind Fnatic, Xerxes is the engine behind us because he's someone that is always ready to come when we need it as well.
This is a guy that you've played with for a long time.
Yes.
VODS, you guys have a huge history together. I'm curious what's changed, just really quick touching on Xerxes, over the years for him. Because obviously it was easy to point at the Iverns and the Rumbles when he first came to League and it was like the crazy picks. But what do you think has changed the most for Xerxes since you guys started out in the Unicorns of Love?
I think it's actually the year where we missed out on each other. Like when I was in Schalke and he was in Splice, that's where we both took away something from those teams that we otherwise wouldn't have learned. And I think this 1 year in Splice taught Serge a lot about the jungle and the jungle rotations, jungle camps, and he's very good at tracking everything in the game right now, which he was decent at UL, but not at this level. And I think this is where he made a big improvement, and he's always up to date on what to do in the jungle. So we can rely on him when needed.
Yeah, I mean, I saw it in the SK game when he was tracking self-made. I'm curious if we'll see the same against one of Misfits' 2 junglers, because next Friday the LEC will return with Splice taking on Misfits. It could be Kire. It could be Maxlor. We're going to have to find out. You mentioned Misfits probably down at the bottom. What's your opinion on that matchup? Is there anything from Misfits that you're uncertain about? Are you nervous about if it's going to be Leader or Febivin or Maxlor? Or Kire.
I mean, I'm pretty sure Humanoid, he will wake up on the day and ask, okay, who am I playing against? And then, like, that's just how he is. I don't think he cares that much. Yeah, I don't have too much opinion. I think we should win, for sure, unless something goes wrong. Really
All right. That gives me a chance to go immediately to the matchup that I'm more interested in. Sorry, Misfits. Really hope to see you improve next week, but not right now. You guys are going to be playing G2 Saturday. How big does that match for you? Do you feel like a lot of pressure to beat G2? Does this mean a lot to you to kind of win this game? Because if you beat OG, Fnatic, and G2 in best of 1, that feels to me like you are the best team in regular season.
Yeah, I think it's always bad to face G2 at the beginning of the split, and that's what we actually did. They were our first game, and they kind of stomped us, so we are definitely out there looking for revenge, and I think now we have a lot more scouting options on them, and even though they are a very hard team to predict, they have these niche flex picks that actually determine their style, I think. And they always put the game into chaos, so we need to be ready to take the chaos on ourselves as well.
Yeah.
Put on the mantle.
Kabi, you always feel like a guy who's kind of above any kind of rivalries or rankings. You seem like very focused on kind of just doing your own thing, playing your game, being the best that you can be. But I'm curious, is there any rivalry at all? Is there any desire to beat Perks? Is there any of that left? Like, he's a mid laner, he's coming into my lane. Do you feel any kind of like animosity or like fire when you play up against Perks?
Yeah, I felt it a lot in the beginning, but I would say it died out really fast. Just when I saw how much he improved in the role, and like after like a few months, he was already one of the better players in the role. And then I'm like, okay, fine. If he beats me, he plays better than me. That's okay. So I would say I don't really feel that anymore. But of course, there's some rivalries. Wonder Mickey.
Yeah, that was my next question. That was my next. Is it easier or harder to lane against Mickey? Like, do you know any of his tendencies, or does it make it more frustrating because you feel like he also knows you?
I mean, the thing is, it's more than 2 years since we played together, but we still know each other really well. I think we changed a lot both, though. But there's still some tendencies. I would say it's always hard to lane against him because he's just really skilled. But yeah, there's some insights that can go in my favor, for sure. Well, and for him, if he knows. So.
For sure. Well, for both of your sakes, since you are the 2 Splice players here, I hope your coach drafts you a winning lane. I hope your coach drafts you a winning lane, and I wish you both the best in that matchup. Everyone else can lose their lane, that's fine. They're not here right now. But I look forward to those games, Misfits and G2. If you're a Splice fan, check them out next week. But over in the LCS, Week 6 is about to start with TSM versus Clutch Gaming. And after the last game, you can check out our broadcast of the LEC. And that's going to be all from us here in week 4. And of course, thank you so much for joining us, guys. We'll be back next Friday for more action in the LEC. See you then.
I have no idea what's happening right now.
Okay, we got one more tip. Production.
Okay.
Production are saying Ender and I suck. And the
Nocturne!
My words!
Oh my god, he's actually just gonna walk him down. He doesn't need Jarvan. Here we go! Supportal combat! Get him! SK are making it away, and it is Mickey versus the world. Time. The backs are canceled. One tower down! That's gonna do it in heroic fashion! It is the Corgi, it is Mickey, and he is going to end the game. Excel take the win!
Like, he dragged 4 members, but like...
No, but there it is, okay!
Attila's like, it doesn't matter if Azir's in front of me.
Maxlore is getting impatient, but he's just gonna die. Attila does so much damage, I think he can just kill everyone in this fight. There's really nothing left for them. The exhaust is there, Gorilla is now in trouble. Ulti comes through, he takes another one.
Pushing in. Oh, Puppet's got the teleport behind them. They're looking for the same play. Hammer comes out, hits Minty. Immediately QSS is away, but here goes Puppet! Oh my god! That is disgusting! Oh, but you do not get a chance to play League of Legends!
Now, winning against Origin, obviously big deal, is upset G2 start talking.
Oh, it's actually a big game coming up.
Do you want to pick Victor here or?
If you want to play it, mid, yeah.
Because I was thinking about picking Talon on 5. Okay. He's basing right now.
I'm like kind of top right now.
By the way, you actually have to tell that you use the jingles. Oh, nice. Wait, what? I thought I was like trying to...
Oh no, there as well. Got him down, but the Nexus is the target you have to feel. Goodbye, Schalke. You can take Cat, but you cannot take us all. Down towards the bottom side. Kobe has a strong advantage. Humanoid jumping in. Cersei here, Boxer. There's nothing you can do. Oh, Boxer's down as well. Humanoid found the flank, but now here goes Reckless. There's still a GA on towards the Kiana, and Reckless just can't get away. Pop Blossom, pop down, shut down. Fnatic are routed.
I have no idea what's happening right now.